Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 5.2 Notes. Today we're talking about solving linear systems of linear equations by graphing. Our learning target today is to be able to check if an ordered pair is a solution to a system of any equations and to solve a system of equations by graphing. So let's go ahead and get started. The solution to a system of equations. Now there are two different things that we can do. Without a graph, that's in the dark blue, it is an ordered pair that gives a true statement for both equations. So an ordered pair that gives a true statement for both equations. And then with a graph, it's an ordered pair shared by two lines. So with a graph, it is an ordered pair shared by two lines. Now, if you need more time to write that, go ahead and pause the video. All right, let's go ahead and look at example number 1. So, is 5, -7 a solution to the following system? So let's remember that the first value is the x and the second is the y. So when we're plugging this in, we have -7 equals -x, which is 5, minus 2. Okay, so that's our first equation that we're dealing with right now. So our next step, well, the opposite of 5 is -5, and -5 minus 2 is -7, and those are equal. But we have to check both equations. Okay, so once again, y is -7 equals 1/5 x, which is 5, minus 8. Well, the first thing we need to know is 1/5 of 5. For plugging that into our calculators, in parentheses, we have 1 divided by 5 times 5, and that gives us 1. So 1 minus 8, and 1 minus 8 is -7, and -7 equals -7. Both of those are true. Our answer for number 1 would be yes. The key thing is they both need to be true. All right, let's look at example number 2. So once again, we have our two equations that we're going to use. And we have to plug everything in. They tell us what the x is and what the y is. So our first one, y is -1, and that equals -1/2 x minus 2, and x was -2. Well, the -1 on the left stays the same. -1/2 times -2, if you don't know that, just plug it into your calculator. -1/2 times -2, and we get +1. And then 1 minus 2 is -1. We're happy because it's true. Okay, so now we have to plug in our other one. So x is -2 and y is -1. -3 times -2 is a +6. -1 equals 7. 6 minus 1 is 5. And does 5 equal 7? No. That is false. So as soon as we have a false statement, our answer is no. That does not work out. Okay? All right. So when two straight lines are graphed, there are three possibilities. Okay? And we've talked about these before. So the first possibility is when we graph two lines is that they intersect. So there's a line, there's a line, they intersect at a point, and then that point is going to be x comma y. So what that means is we would have one solution, okay, because they meet at the point. So the next one would be that the lines don't intersect. So if the lines don't intersect, there we go, okay? It has no solution because the lines are parallel. They never touch each other, okay? And now the last option that we have is if the lines are on top of each other. So there's my first line. Oh, I'm going to do this differently. So there's our first line, but then we have another line that's directly on top of it. Okay, and if that were to happen, we would say that that has infinite solutions, okay, because the lines are on top of each other. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. They're asking us to solve the systems by graphing. Graph each line and find the solution, if any. Okay, so as we're graphing, I'm going to do this in different colors so you can see my different lines. Each time we graph, we need to know what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. Okay, so our first one, our slope is 2 over 1, and our y-intercept is 0, -1. Okay, so at 0, -1 is where I'm starting. And I go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and I'm just going to keep that pattern going. And I'm going to do this the entire length of the graph. And then I'm going to use my straight edge to draw the line, which I'm lining up right now. That one didn't come out very good. Let's try it again. It's kind of hard. I'm doing this with the giant clipboard. Ah. Okay, there's my first line. Now I'm going to do the same thing with our second line. I need to know our slope, which is -1 over 1. And then our y-intercept is 0, 5. Okay, so at 0, 5, it's where I start. And I go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And as soon as I go a couple of those, I find where they intersect. So I found out where they intersect. I still want to draw my line. Okay, so there's my line, but I want to know where do they meet. Okay, that's our solution. So the solution for that was the point 2, 3. Okay, and I get that right from there. Okay, now why don't you try the same thing? Okay, write down what your slope is. It's -2/3, and we have the starting point of 0, 4. And then our second one, our slope is 1/3, and we start at 0, 1. So go ahead and pause the video and try graphing that all on your own. Good luck. Okay, so there are my two lines. And right away I found out where they intersect, but we still got to make sure we draw our lines all the way through. Okay, so and then that point is 3, 2. All right, let's go ahead and flip it over. Okay, so to solve each system, and be sure that each equation is written in, what form is that? That's right, slope-intercept. It has to be in slope-intercept form before we start graphing. All right, let's do number 1 together. Or no, we're on number 3, I'm sorry. So there's our first one. So our slope is 3 over 1. And then we start at 0, -2. So 0, -2. And then I follow my slope. It's up 3 over 1. Up 3 over 1. And I'm going to go through every single point I can on the graph because I don't know where the lines are going to intersect at this point. Okay, so there we go. And now we're going to do our second graph, in red. -x, that means my slope is -1 over 1, and my y-intercept is at 0, 2. So at 0, 2, I start right away going down 1 over 1. I find out where they meet, and I'm just going to do a couple points each direction to help me draw my line. Okay, and then I'm going to draw that line out. And then where do they intersect? Yeah, they intersect right there, which is the point. Yeah, that's the point 1, 1. Okay, so number 4, we're graphing again. I want you to do this one all on your own, okay? Go ahead and pause the video. Good luck. I'm not even going to tell you what the slopes are. You guys can do that on your own. Okay, so those are the lines that you should have graphed. And right away, do they touch? No. Okay, and if you forgot, if we need to come back over here, if the lines don't intersect, we have, yeah, no solution. Okay, so no solution. All right, now with number 5, we can't graph these right away. Look at our lines. Okay, x plus y equals -2, and our other line was 2x minus 3y equals -9. Remember, when we're graphing, it needs to be in slope-intercept form, the y equals mx plus b. And since it's not like that, that's right, we have to solve these, okay? So we need to subtract the x to both sides, and we get y equals -x minus 2. So my slope, oh, sorry, my x was wrong right there. That should have been -x. So my slope is a -1 over 1, and my y-intercept is at the point 0, -2. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that real quick. I'm at 0, -2, and I'm going down 1 over 1. Okay, go in both directions. And then once you've got them, draw your line. Okay, next one. Once again, I need to get the y by itself, so I'm going to subtract the 2x to both sides. I've got -3y equals -2x minus 9. Now the y is not by itself, so I need to divide everything on the other side by a -3. And a negative divided by negative is a positive, so that's 2/3 x, and -9 divided by -3 is a positive 3. So we get that our slope is 2/3, and our y-intercept is 0, 3. as I start graphing that, I'm at the point 0, 3, because that's where I begin. I go up to right 3, and I notice that I'm not going to hit the line in this direction. So I'm going to start going backwards. -2, -3, boom, I hit it. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to draw another point just to help me with my graph. And then 1, 2, 3. I'm going to draw my line. And then we find out where they intersect. And what's that point? Yeah, that's the point -3, +1. All right, last one. So look to see if they're in y = mx + b. If they're not in that, we have to solve, okay? All right, we'll do the first one together. Of course we're doing the first one together because it's the easy one. Okay, we have to add 2x to both sides, and I get that y = 2x + 4. Okay, that means my slope is 2/1, and my y-intercept is 0, 4. Okay, so at 0, 4, there we go. Go up 2/1, up 2/1, and I'm just going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to draw my line. And there we go. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and solve for y on my blue line and then graph it. Okay, pause the video and good luck. Okay, so as I'm solving that, I subtracted the 4x to both sides and then I divided by -2. So I got y = 2x + 4. My slope was 2/1, and then I started at 0, 4. Now, once you start graphing it, you see that the points are right on top of each other, and you want to graph your entire line because we realize that every point is directly on top of each other. And when that happens, we get infinite solutions. Okay, now I know it's kind of hard in pencil to show that the two lines are on top of each other, so just do the best that you can. Okay, now as a reminder, you can always double check all of these using your graphing calculators. Okay, let's just look at, we'll do one that's already solved for us. We'll do number 3. Okay, so as I'm loading up my graphing calculator, I'm going to go to y =, in our first equation we had 3x - 2, and I would just go down to the next one, and that's -x + 2. Okay, just remember that there is a difference between a negative and a subtraction sign. So I don't know why those other points are randomly on my graph, but ignore those. But we can see that the lines intersect at 1, 1, just like we said. Okay, and if you wanted to double check, you can go to your table, and then you can see at, let me go down and highlight it, negative at 1, 1, you can see that they're all the same. Okay, well guys, that is it for Algebra Unit 5.2 notes. As always, if you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, good luck on that homework. Thanks for watching.